Go, Johnny, go is the cry from the Stage 2 crowd. And is a very warm welcome along to Reds Bar this evening, where the end is nigh for Stage 2. 4 more matches, and the winners from them will go through to tomorrow's quarter-final, where everything there on in will be on the main stage. This is a repeat of a last 16 game from 2 years ago, when Martin Schindler was triumphant against Jonny Clayton, reaching the quarter-final. Schindler has won a couple of games to get through to this stage. Mario van der Behade and Dylan Slevin in a very tight contest earlier this afternoon. He defeated the Irishman 10 legs to 9. If you were watching Stage 2 earlier, you will have seen a stellar comeback from Clayton. He was up against Alan Suter. He was 5-0 down. He was not at the races at all. But then particularly in the second half of the game, it was typical ferreting, lethal on the doubles, the scoring improved, and he dispatched the Scotsman. He is going to have to start quicker against a man who entered the winner's circle for the very first time last year. A couple of European Tour wins for Schindler in Riesa and Basel. My name's Dan McCarthy, and for the final time this weekend, I will introduce you to a former UK Open quarter-finalist. It is the Asset Paul Nicholson.
Let's get this going then. This is where things get really exciting, because the dream of being here on UK Open Sunday, it's one game away. You could be 24 hours away from being in the semi-finals. Things are getting very close, and this prestigious title, which is 22 years removed from it being lifted for the first time by Philip Douglas Taylor, you could join that elusive group in just over a day's time. But first, you must make the quarters. And for these guys, they're both trying to beat a 2-time European Tour champion.
Yes, Martin Schindler looking to be the flag bearer for Germany, the German #1, hoping to become the first German major title winner. He has been making those steps in the last 12 months or so. Erratic start from Schindler, it's fair to say. Almost akin to how Clayton started against Suter.
They're both using new equipment for 2025. For quite a while, Martin Schindler was using barrels that were very similar to that of Benito van der Pas, but now he's got his own signature model, as Clayton takes the first leg with a combination finish. A much better start than this afternoon.
Absolutely. It needed to be, quite desperately.
Let's face facts. With Clayton on Stage 2 again, he's going to have plenty of support behind him. But if he does go through to the quarters tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of Welsh people in the audience wishing that he is going to be lifting this championship. He is the sole Welsh representative left, and there's never been a Welsh champion.
Gerwyn Price and Barry Bates have come closest, reaching the final.
Mark Webster made the semi-finals back in 2011. Robert Owen, I do beg your pardon, he's still in the tournament.
Yep, we'll see him next against James Wade. And we've got Damon Heta against Jan van Veen. Those two have had some tremendous games in the past, particularly on the European Tour. And Nathan Aspinall and Willie O'Connor will close proceedings for the weekend. Another referee has come to join the Stage 2 party in the form of George Noble.
Didn't want to be left out, you see. Everybody needs a dose of Reds Bar.
I wonder how Charlie feels.
He's big time now, isn't he? I've actually had a Welsh referee, aside Hugh Ware, at this venue in the last 12 months. Garen Roderick was here back in November. Oh, now Clayton will be hoping to stay at the top of the board to get a shot at tops. How has he done that? just cushioned that second dart in somehow. Schindler's got to make him pay for that miss at tops. And he does. Who's the favourite for the title at this stage then, Mr. McCarthy? Is it an easy thing to say Humphries or Luke Littler, the number 1 and number 2 in the world?
It is going to be one of those, I think. Well, unless they draw each other in the quarterfinals, it would be a dream final, obviously. Out of the two of them, I think I'd seesaw towards Humphries.
Any particular reason?
Vibes. And I think as well, he's coming off the back of that Exeter win. He absolutely demolished Ryan Searle this afternoon. I think he's had 2 challenging games for differing reasons, and he's dealt with them so effectively.
Clayton is looking way more comfortable than this afternoon. Whatever cobwebs or rust was on him in the middle of the afternoon, that's gone. And there's a little bit of rust on the armour of Schindler. Tops for Clayton. That's the last thing he wanted to do.
He would rather have bust and leave double 5. Slightly awkward first start because he did go in, but it felt a bit precarious.
It's the second time he's had a dart in a treble 20 which didn't look secure. Leg 3 is very secure and Clayton takes it. But earlier on in the match, Clayton had a wicked deflection and his second dart only just survived in the 60. He's always had a dart that has wobbled a little bit in the board, but I'll have to keep an eye on what happens with the behaviour of the collisions.
We saw a mad one from Ross Smith earlier where one of them was clinging onto the board for dear life and he just brazenly chucked the third dart towards the treble 20. Martin Schindler trying to look a bit taller because he's sporting a new quiff, it seems. That he's getting bigger by the event.
Well, he's not going to grow anymore because he's finished in that department. So if he wants to get taller, he's going to have to consult Peter Wright or Jim Williams. It was back in 2020 where Jonny was having his best UK Open. Made the semi-finals and hit a 9-darter that year on this stage.
Last player to do it.
Indeed. Gervin Price accounted for him in the semi-finals. He would love to go one better. Signature time. Did it this afternoon, but not right now.
.138 not going to go. A break opportunity is handed to Jonny Clayton. Double 14. Can he slide it in? Oh, he's dragged that low. And that is something of a nightmare.
Double 10. And the transition of dart from left hand to right was not clean. 2 8s. And Clayton takes full advantage of the miss from Schindler. Jonny, who's made the final of the Players' Championship finals here a few years back, he would love to do the double of making both finals at Minehead. But what he doesn't want to happen this week, as much as making the final would be great, he doesn't want to be noted as a person who's made both finals but lost both finals.
Well, it'd be the second major final and he'd lost this year if that was to happen. World Masters finalist against Luke Humphries. Nearly pulled off an incredible comeback there.
Who's to say that won't be the final that we get all year? It happens sometimes, doesn't it? Might be Clayton versus Humphries all season long in finals.
I'll tell you something. That's very watchable.
I think we'll be very lucky to get a final anywhere close to that World Masters final. How many World Finals or major finals can you think of that go to a last leg decider? Not many at all.
Well, if you want a last leg decider in a major final, look to the UK Open. It's happened the last 3 versions.
Correct. Which makes the achievements of the last 3 UK Opens incredible. Gilding. What composure to win that one. Danny Noppert the same. Dimitri last year. Case in point.
Dimitri is about to start his last 16 match. Continue his title defence against, so far at least, a resurgent Michael Smith. As Schindler looks at 146. Needs 2 treble 19s. And he's inaccurate on them.
Schindler's just a little bit off the pace. If Clayton can expose this, he might find himself in the kind of position where he was behind this afternoon.
Or treble. Leaves the bullseye for Martin Schindler. Was not far off. Clayton steps up. 5-5. He's chasing round the board. Unsuccessfully so.
I don't know if you've noticed this, Dan, but every time he's gone for tops, he's missed it by the same margin low. 2 10s. And Martin does get one back. He is very displeased. It's not a vintage performance so far, but we haven't seen that top level from Martin in this UK Open yet. He might not get it in a match, but if he can have it in the patch of a performance, it might be enough to give him a buffer to get through this last 16.
It's been low 80s so far from Martin Schindler, and yet it was a break of throw. Holds here. Easier said than done. Jonny Clayton with a second 180 of the match. A third of the way there to perfection, 5 years on.
Are you teasing us, Mr. McCarthy?
Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Jonny Clayton's doing the teasing now.
For a 1-2-1 finish or a maximum, you usually get a ferret finger. This would get the cheer of the weekend if he was to do it 5 years on. He's getting booed, and it's the only time he ever does get booed.
Bit of ironic booing from the crowd. Looks very businesslike, though, doesn't he? I think he realises that this afternoon was something of a scare. Steps up to try and hit double 16 now. It's a lovely 11 darter to break the throw. He went 6 into a 9, but he will certainly settle for an 11. And the hard work that Martin Schindler put into break has all gone out of the window already.
Let's face facts. We started today with 32 players. By the end of the day, we will have 8. How many jobs do you know, Dan, where you can earn £10,000 in the day? Because that's what these guys are trying to do. £10,000 with the promise of an opportunity for more. They're on £10,000 right now for their efforts. Some of the players who are left in this tournament aren't thinking about the money, but some of them are. Because if you can get to the end of the rainbow, you'll get £100,000 more than you're on right now.
And if we look at someone like Martin Schindler, he wins this weekend. He jumps up provisionally to 12th in the rankings. Big changes with the Euro Tour. That puts him in round 2 for all those tournaments going forward. Here he is again, 1-2-1. Bullseye for Jonny Clayton.
If he's missing just a little bit low. It's a consistent miss. And that one's already been missed. Usually this is a gimme. 5-2 Clayton, move on. The best 25 hitter in the world. Proves it again. Martin Schindler, whether he says so or not, he's got an ambition this year. And it's to be the highest ranked German player ever. As it stands, he's number 22 in the world. It feels like he's better than that. But he's not in the purple patch of form that he was last March. That was when he was playing his best stuff. But if he can reach world number 18, where Michael Smith is right now, he will set a German record for the highest ranked German player in the Order of Merit era. Max Hopp holds that record. He's held most German records in the last few years. But he is starting to be overtaken.
This 8th leg should be belonging to the wall. Jonny needed a 180 to get down to a finish. Or as good as a 180. Treble 17, first port of call.
Well, he was thinking about something else before that visit. He might have been thinking about 25. 25-18 tops. He might have been caught in two minds because there were 2 dots there that he wouldn't have been happy with. And if he's not razor sharp here, Clayton is in for the kill.
Double 5. Well, both players with tops left have chased round the board and left themselves on 5. Potential darting disaster. Jonny Clayton steps in. He could be 8-0 up. Instead, he'll so far settle for 6-2.
It's no wonder he's called the ferret. If he was called the dog, he'd be the kind of dog that mops up every treat you spill. Schindler misses. Next thing you know, there's a crumb on the deck. Here comes Clayton, mops it up.
Jonny the Hoover Clayton.
Other vacuums are available. Schindler is now officially in quicksand. Digging your way out of a game like this against Jonny Clayton, who's playing pretty well, is a difficult thing to do. And the trick to nights like this is, before you even throw a dart in anger on the stage, is do not be settling for the last 16. Don't be happy with it. Demand more.
Well, judging by the last meeting, Jonny Clayton has a liking for playing Martin Schindler. It was that Win My World Masters campaign. He averaged 112.7. It's not been quite at that level, but it's been effective. Doesn't have to go treble 19 and the bull.
That was a tournament record average as well, wasn't it? So maybe he does like playing Schindler in 2025.
Head-to-head record stands at 4 apiece. Double 10 for Schindler. Much more effective, much more clinical. And for once, Jonny Clayton is shut out of an opportunity at a double.
6-4 down is very workable. Just asked Jonny Clayton this afternoon. That's where he stood at the halfway break. And after the break, it was all ferret.
And like that game, I think if Schindler was to go into the break 6-4 down, he'd consider that a result.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
140.
He's still got to get to 4. I say this every year.
P5.
And when we come to the Players' Championship Finals in November. If you get the first game of Saturday night, that is a result. You know exactly when you're playing. When you're finished,
33.
you get the maximum amount of time to rest before the quarterfinals. This is the best draw.
140. Martin, you require 170.
Now you've got to use it.
$60.
Coincidentally, we had Josh Rock against Ross Smith in the first game on this stage this afternoon. That was completed around 2 o'clock. Josh Rock has been
40.
given the last game on the main stage tonight. Hence the biggest gap between games here today.
Double 16.
Martin Schindler.
Welcome back to Reds Bar, where Jonny Clayton has reversed things from this afternoon. He was 6-4 down at the break against Alan Suter. That is the most violent bounce out I think I've ever seen. It was a magic trick from Shindy.
I bet you can't do that again, Martin. In fact, don't try that again. Seriously. The things that happen on the dartboard, this sport can be dangerous.
The only thing that would have made that better is if when it ricocheted back to him, he started doing keepy-ups with it. We know there's football freestyling. Can we get darts freestyling?
Probably best not.
Jonny to
If in doubt, wear steel toe cap boots.
Martin Schindler should get a leg for that, personally. 6-5, discount that.
He almost did get his leg. Right, back to business. Schindler, who made the quarterfinals 2 years ago, is trying to defend that prize money here in Minehead. If he doesn't win this match, he will go backwards in the rankings. And he's trying to break his own record of the best progression in the UK Open by a German player.
To do that, he's going to have to beat one of the greatest to emerge from Wales.
140.
Has been 4 years now since the year of the ferret, as it was coined, where he won 4 TV titles. Yes, really, 4
60.
years.
It's ridiculous when you think about it. That does not feel like 4 years ago. One thing Clayton's going to do this year is try to get another green jacket in Graz. But he'd like to go there with titles already won. Interesting.
135. Martin, you require 41.
Just piling them in, I think, assuming that Schindler's going to take 41. And that's not a safe assumption when you hit single 12 with your first dart.
He's got 29 left. Which elite dart player leaves 29?
Maybe his foot's still sore. Double 8.
25. Jonny, you require 26.
Clayton takes 26. Schindler's head's going to be sore.
That's close.
The
And that's
Jonny
it.
flag, Jonny Clayton. Throw flag, Martin to throw first.
I want to know where that dot landed. Did it land inside his shoe, or did it just poke its way into the sole of his shoe?
It looked like it was tucked in between sock and shoe at the side.
If it's gone there and it hasn't damaged his foot in any way,
100.
he might have chainmail socks on. He's in real trouble here. He did well
60.
to get to 6-4 down before the break, but now 3 behind again. Clayton knows how to front run. One of the best we've seen in major championships. over the last few years. When he gets a lead, he can keep it.
I think case in point is Grand Prix win over Gerwin Price.
Absolutely.
Relentless that evening.
180.
Attacked by his own darts. Now he's dropping them.
They're alive.
100.
They are sentient beings. Those 3 sticks that they're throwing at the board.
He's dropped another one. I promise you, these darts have got a lot of grip on them.
99.
But the nerves
Jonny
can sometimes get to you. That
161.
transition from one hand to another is not an easy thing when things are getting a bit nervy.
It is something that people will take
60.
for granted. They will think, oh, you're just passing it from one hand to
117.
another. But you've got to time it right, and you've got to get the rhythm right.
And you don't look at the dart when you do it. A bit like basketballers don't look at the ball when they bounce it.
93.
Sometimes you can
Jonny
lose track of where it is.
101.
Single 9, double 16. Classic Clayton.
Jonny Clayton.
That part of his game has been
13 flag,
so
Jonny
good
to
in this
throw
match.
first.
The conversions, leaving the bottom left corner, it's what his entire game plan is all about.
60.
When he's polishing off 16s and 8s the way he is, you've got to pray as his opponent that you're stopping him enough in the match to get a result. And so far, Martin isn't doing that.
46.
Well, 5 of the 8 legs that he's won have been in those 2 particular segments. If you can master 16s and 8s,
85.
and a lot of players do try and do that because they're next to each other, there's not much readjustment, you are in a good position.
Well, people like 16s because it's visually appealing. It's somewhat vertical.
60.
There's a little bit of margin for error laterally. But when you go to double 8, that lateral aspect is gone and it's all vertical.
109.
You and I watched Jonny play this afternoon. He looked tense at times. He looks anything but tense right now.
He looks carefree.
125.
He looks like a man who is confident he's advancing to the quarterfinals. He won't take anything for granted. Martin Schindler is not putting him under enough pressure. It's as simple as that.
It's almost as if someone's saying to him, please don't take me home. The way that Jonny's playing, he's not going home tomorrow. He'll be staying. And every corner of the board is starting to be receptive now. One more, and Jonny Clayton will be in the quarterfinals of the UK Open again.
$57. $99.
If you're Martin Schindler right now, imagine what he's thinking.
Help.
The positivity of coming into this last 16 match, it's evaporating.
100.
He's had a decent draw in this tournament. Other people have had it a lot harder. Just look at Rob Owen. He's got
100.
Wade tonight. And next. He had Van Gerwen this afternoon. Talk about a hard Saturday.
We'll look at the world number 1. Luke Humphries, Bo Greaves and Ryan
44.
Searle. That's not one you'd hand pick.
Not at all.
$299, the
92.
ultimate test of counting ability.
19's first. Really well done.
39.
But he may need to hit that 160 to stay in the UK Open.
81. Martin, you're
Well, that
at
offers Martin Schindler a
160.
bit more hope. That last start leaves a tricky 129. If Jonny Clayton comes back, which he will. Could go over to the 18s here.
60.
Well, he
Jonny,
persisted.
you're at 129.
Probably not the right play. He could have brought the bullseye in had he not hit the treble 18. Oh, double 12.
105.
Prior to that, 129 effort.
Martin,
We
you
just saw the
require
Schindler
100.
chin drop and the shoulder slump. Can he stand up and be countered with another?
80.
That might be the end.
Jonny
And the way that Johnny's been
24.
finishing, it will be.
Double 12 for Jonny Clayton. Double 6.
Game.
That is a convincing display